Alright, welcome back to Geek Out RC. In the last episode, we took a look at Associated's first complete redesign of their legendary RC10 buggy, the B2. And today we're going to look at the next iteration, the third generation B3. And though these look very similar at a quick glance, there's a lot of differences, and we're going to get into them. Now, the B3 released only 2 years after the B2 in 1997, and it just had some revisions rather than an all-new design. It originally released in 3 versions, a basic kit, a sport kit, and a team kit, and it wasn't until the year 2000 that we finally got the factory team B3 that you see here. Now, to keep things simple, because there's so many differences between the basic kit, sport kit, the team kit, and the factory team kit, we're just going to talk about the factory team kit. Now, visually, the first thing you would notice would be the new Proline Deja Vu body and the redesigned wing. You also got some Proline whole shot tires in the rear, some new larger 2.2-inch lightweight one-piece dish wheels. The suspension arms were lengthened and they were made equal length front and rear. The factory team got a carbon fiber front shock tower and blue titanium turnbuckles and tie rods. New designed C-hubs and spindles freshened up the steering geometry up front. Now, while the lesser B3 kits continued to use the same black anodized aluminum and molded composite as the B2, the factory team B3 got an all-new graphite material, and your chassis, suspension arms, front top plate, the battery strap, as well as the rear shock tower were now molded out of this graphite. And you also got blue anodized front kick-up plate, rear motor plate, and rear chassis plate, as well as blue anodized hardware throughout. The factory team received a new set of MIP CVD axles in the rear end, replacing the old universal axles that were in the B2. The new front shock tower on the B3 had an extra set of holes to adjust your roll center, as well as another set of holes for your upper shock mount positioning. The rear shock towers were changed very little. The B3s had a little bit of extra material between the gussets for strengthening and a slightly different shape to it, but still retained the same 3 upper holes for the shock mount positioning for suspension tuning. Now, I think that the B3 might just be my favorite of the RC10s appearance-wise. You had a rear cab body that still had a tail section. The Deja Vu body just looked beautiful. The B4, they started to cut the rear end off of the body, and then after that they started getting into these cab forward designs, and I think the 2-wheel drive buggy just lost its identity. These more classic rear cab full bodied buggies I think just look fantastic. I've got this one done up in an old Mark Pavidis livery. These decals were from MCI Racing out of Canada, and I believe it's a pre-painted Proline body. So that is Associated's factory team RC10 B3, as well as its older sibling, the B2. Thanks for watching.